everybody. This is Jordan with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. I am joined today by my awesome and amazing co-hosts, CJ Cabrera and Renika Wood. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Doing good.
And today we are very grateful, very honored to have a very special guest. Vanessa is joining us today. She's here to tell us, her IBD story, share her journey with us, and we're just so grateful. So, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. Hanging in there during COVID, but
Right. Well, cool. Well, I'll just kind of get right off to it. So I'm just curious myself. What's your journey been like with IBD?
yeah. So I had my first flare in 2016, so I was 15 at the time.
Okay.
And per usual story, since I was pediatric at the time, it did take about six months to get into a doctor, get scoped, get diagnosed. At the time, it was IBD unspecified because they couldn't really tell yet. But then once I started seeing my doctor and discussing symptoms and stuff more, my diagnosis became ulcerative colitis. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. So how long have you been living with ulcerative colitis now?
Yeah, so I'm 18 now, so 3 years, 3 and some years.
Wow. Well, have you been able to get some medicine? And have you been able to get some, really good care and stuff like that, or is it still kind of uncontrolled? What's your life looking? What's the aftermath looking like for you?
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty fortunate that my condition is, according to my doctor, very moderate, very mild, and it's contained to just the very last portion of the colon.
Okay.
So because of that, I'm really just on the mesalazine, I think, the ones that release, the pills that release in the colon.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've been managing it with those and then also suppositories. And
All right. Well, definitely. Thank you for sharing that. And so, so with those, medication, and I don't want to talk myself, of course, and but with those medications and stuff, what's your quality of life, looking like? Is it, is it pretty? Would you call it back to normal, or?
I'd say I try to balance it a lot with focusing on my diet, other factors, managing my stress. Like right now in school, I am taking a decreased course load, so my degree is going to be longer, but at least I can manage my stress better without having to worry about triggering a flare. So I'd say my quality of life is as good as it can be right now. So.
Oh, well, cool. And go ahead, CJ.
I was just gonna ask her if she had any tips for any IBDers who want to get into college and stay stress-free and try and manage their IBD there.
I'd say definitely reach out to resources. It's something that I did not pay attention to in my first year of university. I'm in my second year right now. But my first year, I had no idea that I qualified for certain accessibility services because of my UC. Because I never really considered myself disabled or having a disability, so I thought none of that was applicable. But then one of my friends said, should just see what they have. Maybe they have something, and they have a whole section for if you live with a chronic illness.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of people with IBD actually access different services like reducing your course load, being able to write in an exam room where if you need to use the washroom, someone will escort you to the washroom. You don't have to worry about losing time on your test. They'll just stop the clock and then you could go take as long as you need and come back.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that, man, I wish I had known about that. So.
It's awesome. Being I'm gonna say college student, it can be very challenging dealing with a chronic illness. Like your friends, like how do your friends support you during this process?
So my friend was actually, she has a learning disability, so that's why she was in there. And she originally said, you know, they have a lot of other services. And the whole first year, I was just like, no, like, I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to just do everything normally. That was my mentality back then. But what happened is last year at the end, right before COVID happened, actually, I flared again because I was super stressed out with school and coming back from the holidays. My diet was all messed up. So I finally said, you know what, second year, I'm going to see what's available for me. And
yeah, that's really good advice. That's really good advice. You know, because I mean, I've had Crohn's disease since I was 14. And so, and I could have used that knowledge, you know, type thing. But I actually ended up, you know, joining the military instead. So I got my school kind of done that way.
Yeah. Right. You know, I think it's awesome that I know I went to North Carolina A&T and here in North Carolina, and our school had like a lot of different resources, but I wasn't diagnosed with irritable bowel disease until after college. But I always thought that the community resources for college was more so for persons who need to, like, you mentioned, like learning disabilities or persons that may have like other type of illnesses, impairments, but not a chronic illness like a Crohn's or colitis. I never would have known that. So I'm glad that's a positive resource for persons listening now who is in college, that they do have options for you guys. So that's very big for us to know about that.
Exactly.
And Vanessa, you stay on campus, right?
My first year I was on campus. That was one accessibility service I did access to. It's separate from my school's academic accessibility services. This one was for, okay, if you're living on residency, I specifically got my doctor to say I need a private or a semi-private washroom because, you know, I would like my privacy. I'm probably going to be in there often. Like, I don't know what could happen. And I'm glad I did because I did flare. So I did need the washroom quite often. So all of those services and accessibility services are available as well.
Definitely. Wow.
Do all your teachers know that you have IBD?
So the way it works is I go through an accessibility services counselor. So I basically just register with them, and then they send a whole list of students that have these accessibility services that have access to them. They send those to your professors, and then it's really vague. The professors really don't need to know what I'm diagnosed with. They just need to know that, okay, she's registered, just give her the extra time on the exam.
It's the last job that I had was kind of the first job. I mean, I said I've had Crohn's for a really long time, but the last job that I had was the first job that I actually told them, or that I actually got a medical, like an accommodation is what they call it. Yeah, kind of what you're talking about. And so and it's kind of freeing. It's a little bit freeing, you know, because, you know, you don't feel like you have to keep this big secret anymore from anybody, and you can just do your own thing. And so, you know, if the environment's right for you, you know, I would pursue that, you know, if anybody's listening out there.
Definitely. I know in my job, I just took like an extended FMLA, family medical leave. I think family medical leave. I forgot what the A stands for, but it stands for something. So I get up until I get 12 weeks a year for medical, or 6 weeks. I know it's a long time, but I did not know that. I was like, oh my God, I had like a few surgeries, like, oh my God, I'm able to work for a month at a time, 6 weeks minimum, could be less, could be more. So I was kind of worried, but I did call my my department, human resources. They said that they do have like a program where I can go through where I keep my job, of course, and I go through file paperwork. If I have like flares, I can take a work for a week, not be penalized for it. So a lot of people are not aware of those resources, like they even on job. So that resource center is very big for college students, especially. I can really dig that.
Got you. So do you guys, I'm asking everybody, like Renika, I know you went to college. Did you do the whole social, I know you were, was it a beta, a data, delta? You're a delta.
I'm a delta. Shout out to all the DSCs out there.
Were you looking to get into any like fraternities or anything like that?
Sorority.
Or sorority. V.
I don't even know if my school has those. I feel like this might be a thing that's definitely more prominent in the States. Up here in Canada, I feel like we have one. I think it's like a Jewish fraternity. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't, at least I don't know of any, nor do I think I really care to join one.
Right. Well, what's your what do you hope to kind of study, or what are you studying? What do you hope to major in? In school, like what do you kind of, like your kind of job interest, I guess would be a little bit.
Yeah. So this is one area of my life I have things planned down to the T, but I am in school right now for applied human nutrition with an area of emphasis in dietetics, which is just fancy language for it's a nutrition program that's accredited by the Dietitians Association of Canada. Cool, so once I finish this degree with this emphasis, I can either apply for my internship or my master's, and then write this big exam and then become a dietitian. That's the plan.
Awesome.
Awesome.
That's a good plan. So
yeah.
I wish you all success all the way through. So
that's definitely good. I know CJ and I had mentioned before, we was just in sync where he had a dietitian conversation recently. CJ, is that correct?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I had one too. I had got a call from my insurance company about a month ago. It was like, we have all these resources for you. I'm looking like, resources? What can I get from the resources? And they said, well, we can have a dietitian give you a call, a nutritionist give you a call. I'm like, dietitian? I'm like, okay, because I was paying for out of pocket at my primary care physician. They linked me to someone. I'm like, well, I can keep my $50 to myself. But she was talking about with my Crohn's and what do I eat? I'm on a food journal now. Like, okay.
Same.
But right, you don't want to, and she want to incorporate all these type of different supplements, more natural supplements, and remove like a lot of the carbohydrates. Even though right now I'm going through, I had surgery, I had ostomy surgery in December, so I'm in a remission right now. But since I have been in remission, my weight has increased significantly versus when I was not. I did not have one. I had lost weight significantly. So she was saying how my body's now holding on to all the nutrients that I did not have before to hold on to. So I'm the opposite now. Like, dang, can I get a few pounds gone? But my body want to hold on to it. I was like, okay, well, I'm cool with it, But yes, I can definitely commend you for that. That profession is very, very much so needed.
Yeah, thank you.
You're most welcome.
And definitely, me and food is it's an everyday battle, and I think it's just so important. People like that are interested in being nutritionists and stuff. It's dietitians and all. It's just so valuable. I had a surgery and I lost kind of like maybe 15 pounds, kind of evaporated. And so so one of the things I've been trying to do is have a diet that I can try to put on some weight and stuff like that. And so I don't know. So it's just something that everybody I think is kind of. It's so interesting because with IBD and stuff, everybody's experience is so different.
It is. It is. I saw a photo recently of I'm gonna call it a young lady who was slimmer and one person who was like a larger body built individual, and they was talking about like confidence in your body and positivity and self-image, and they was saying how we see someone may be different how to see themselves. The smaller individual wanted to be the size of the larger individual, and she wouldn't be the size of the smallest individual. Yeah, but not know both of them have their own insecurities. So with dietitian and having the IBD, I know when I had my flares, like when I lost weight, my weight was very unhealthy. And my mom always said me, I was like, I'm gaining all this weight. She was like, just stop saying that now. She said, one time you lose weight. I said, Mom, I'm gaining weight. I would get so mad. But she said, just calm down, Renika. Be very mindful that you are getting healthier now. So that's very important because people too do tend to be a little uncomfortable with either gaining weight or losing weight during the IBD. So people listening, it's okay on your own journey. Just stick to it and do what you can do the best you can. That's my take on that weight thing.
So is there thanks for sharing that, Renika. Like is there so you have everything planned out to a T, and so once you're this amazing accredited, educated, motivated professional out there, what would you like hope, like is there like a dream job that you would like to have?
That's the part where I don't have planned out. That's the part that's more penciled in, just because I know dietetics is such a huge field. And right now, only being in my second year, there's so many different branches that I'm interested in. Right now, I am interested in public health. Cool. It is kind of on my bucket list to do international work one day. And I'm also interested in like cultural inclusion and diversity in nutrition, because it's something that's not present much, and the whole system is kind of built off certain ideas that need to be changed. So I'm very interested in working to, especially in my undergrad and graduate studies, I feel like that's the prime time to kind of network with dietitians. And I'm already doing it, networking with dietitians and having these conversations.
Right.
Awesome.
Is it like a mentorship with the?
Yeah, so I'm actually, I'm a mentee for a diversified dietetics program. So that program just works to match dietitians with dietetic students. So she's been helping me with resume prep and with job applications and just figuring out where I want to go with my career and stuff. And like I said, having those conversations about cultural inclusion and dietetics.
Awesome.
Good path right there. You can go this way, that way, a lot of different ways. It's awesome. I think we need more individuals that have an understanding about the benefit of nutrition and what nutrition can do for the body within itself.
Exactly.
Definitely.
A lot of people don't understand that we use food to fuel our bodies, not just to satisfy our hunger.
Yeah, and also the difference between dietitians and just, I don't know, some internet webpage is half of our studying, half of it is hardcore science and biochemistry. The other half of it is actually counseling techniques and psychology and taking more social sciences and social studies courses where we talk about like, what's the word I'm looking for, but talk about culture and what role that plays in how you're going to counsel someone.
That makes sense.
As a dietitian. Yeah, because there's, I know a lot of people who kind of gave up on dietetics, or dietitians who went to seek a dietitian and then the whole diet plan they gave them isn't satisfying their cultural needs or what they would naturally, what they enjoy to eat.
Right.
So,
I agree with that.
I can see that happening like a lot of fun.
That was a little different, but I was like, I tweak this a little bit.
Like, and there's like, I've seen like these like diets for like, like I guess like a FOD or like a low residue, like low residue diets.
FODMAP.
Yeah, FODMAP. That's what I was trying to come up. But I don't want to say it wrong, but yeah, so thank you for that. And so, but my like looking at like about 80% of this is not going to work.
Exactly.
So I can eat the no, actually nothing on here. So,
yeah. We're gonna start off with some dark greens.
Right. Wash it down with some cottage cheese. Like, I don't know. So
I'm good.
You're like yogurt for snack.
Exactly.
But it's funny. It's funny though, because my dietitian, I talked to her first. She was like, well, in the morning time, you do like a glass of milk. And I was like, milk? I was like, no, I can't have milk. I said I can have probably some lactose-free milk. She said, oh, sounds good. I said, no milk, no eggs. I got to be very mindful. I can eat more of the meats, but not like a lot of the greens, the Brussels sprouts and the kales and the salads. I'm like, no, lady, I've been a flare before you even told your ass.
Right. Yes. Yes. So speaking of that, so to piggyback off of that, so since you've been diagnosed, are there any like what you call trigger foods, things that you you find yourself avoiding?
So I'm actually vegan and gluten-free.
Okay.
Not gluten-free by choice. Gluten-free was, I realized that just causes way too much bloating, uncomfortability. I don't know if they're necessarily IBD symptoms or just like
just
just me.
How you're built type thing.
Yeah, so I avoid gluten. I will eat a little bit sometimes if I'm feeling up to it, but most of the time it's no. Vegan, it only started after I was diagnosed. I think I might have been vegetarian when I was diagnosed, and then I just kind of kept let's just do it full. So dairy, I was already lactose intolerant, so couldn't drink that anyway. That I guess would be another trigger food. Other than that, I feel like when I'm not in a flare, I could pretty much eat anything. I can get away with a higher fiber diet.
Okay.
When I am flaring, like right now, I'm not feeling the bestest. I can kind of feel one coming on, and I think that's just a result of my birthday weekend and Thanksgiving in Canada all happening in one week. I kind of went a little ham with the food,
right?
And the alcohol, and it was just a lot. So
enjoyed yourself type thing.
That's a good question.
Yeah. So Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I've asked a question. No, you can go ahead. I'm sorry. Lost my thought for a second.
Yeah. After that whole weekend, I've been trying to cut back on the fiber a bit, just so I could calm things down, and then we'll see how that goes.
Definitely. You mentioned alcohol. I was about to say, being a college student, you want to explore the parties and with your friends out here hanging, turn it up, turn down for the turn up. How do you incorporate all that into your life? And do your friends know about that? Like, do you find yourself not going out as much because of the conflict of the alcohol? Or how do you process all that?
Yeah, so first of all, I realized I started this podcast and I said I'm 18, which I'm not. I'm 19 now, just to make it clear that I'm legal in Canada to drink alcohol. When it's just your birthday and then you just forget that never happened. Anyway, 19. Last year, honestly, everything up until this year, I really didn't care about my alcohol. It never affected me that much, or at least I never noticed that it affected me. So I would still go to parties and get pretty drunk. I would drink a lot. So in that sense, I was fine. I feel like what kind of helped balance that out was that I always had my diet really good. I was always exercising still. I was getting my proper sleep. So everything else was under good control. So I can get away with maybe once a month going and binge drinking. I'm definitely not like the college party kids. So I was doing more of the studying than the partying, but yeah.
I mean, CJ and I are both military veterans and stuff. So, we both know. So
double extend.
So I was in the military from my 19 to 28, and so it was all good times. So, but it's interesting, because I didn't have active Crohn's symptoms really then. And so I
didn't either.
Yeah, and
I was getting strafed. It was bad.
Yeah, it was pretty good times.
Pretty good bad times. Let's just
exactly. Like gut poison type thing. So
I'm pretty sure I had alcohol poison a couple times, but suck it up.
Isn't it just because I got that notes when I was, how old? I think I was 24. No, I'm lying. I was 26. Anyway, I know I was just finishing grad school, and where I live, North Carolina A&T, like one of those biggest, like I'm a my school, but we're like one of those colleges where everybody come there for all type of festivities. So alcohol was always a part of that turn up sessions. But I did not. I didn't know I had Crohn's then, but I would never think about it. I'm like, dang. The weekend be over, I'm like in the bed, I'm lethargic, I'm going to the restroom more. It's like, it's just the overflow of the alcohol you done had. I'm like, okay, you make sense. So in my mind, I thought that, but not knowing the whole time my alcohol was feeding my Crohn's, feeding it.
Right. Yeah, probably me too.
Yeah. Increasing it more. Like it's bad. We bad. We are bad. We are terrible.
Well, like I said, we're human, So,
right.
I mean, life is short. We have a little bit of fun with it. You know, who am I to say anything to you?
That's right.
I kind of pulled that card yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. I said fuck it, and I ate fried Oreos. I did.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I got a prednisone coming in the mail, and it came today. I'm just like, fuck it.
With that prednisone, you eat more than a fried Oreo because you can be
fried Oreo.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know.
I ate 2 of them bitches, but let me be clear, man. It was worth it, but not worth it because your boy is bleeding. But it was worth it for my mental health.
Right, you needed that.
I needed it.
That's awesome.
Sometimes you just gotta take the meds for your mental health.
I mean, me, I guess I can't really talk too much because this morning I had like a cinnamon roll type thing. That
sounds dank. I'm not gonna lie.
Right, it was delicious. So, but I wish I had, so if I ever get rich, I'm definitely hiring somebody, with vanilla,
make me gluten-free snacks.
Exactly, like
a gluten-free chef,
about like an amazing dietitian, nutritionist, that could actually make good food.
Good food, edible food. Gotta be edible now.
Yeah. So learn it all, Vanessa, and then go out and train people to learn more type thing.
Definitely.
Yes.
So we have like a whole squad of people that can help IBD people. So
definitely. When I tell people my diet restrictions, the first thing they ask is, what do you eat? And that's why I got so frustrated of just sending pictures to everyone of all the nice food I cook up, and there's a lot of good vegan gluten-free restaurants popping up everywhere. And there are about 15 that I know of just in my close little area, my neighborhood, of gluten-free vegan desserts, lunch, breakfast, everything you could possibly think of. So I honestly just made a food blog account, and I said, whenever someone asks me what I eat now, I just refer them to the account. Then they'd be like, no way is that vegan and gluten-free. I'm like, yes it is.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had so many different type of options for food. I told the guys I can't eat peanut butter, right? So I found some wow butter, WOW butter, wow butter. Tastes like peanut butter. I just haven't eaten it yet. I've had a mood to eat it, but it's everything the same. Even if I'm here where I live, my grocery store, there was 2 or 3 that's vegan and gluten-free, that's aisles. Everything is gluten-free, vegan-free, vegan-free. So it's kind of wow, I didn't realize that. See, I'm not vegan or gluten-free, but I would learn to adapt a healthier lifestyle by eating of the less carbohydrated foods and all that other type of extra ingredients I don't need, all this artificial flavor and stuff. I don't need that stuff. And I think with my Crohn's, it means my body even hold on to weight even more. But definitely, I'm looking to this. I'm already. What am I, pescatarian? Did I say that right?
What is that? Is that?
I don't eat nothing but most
fish?
The seafood.
Okay.
Fish and shrimp. Yeah.
I guess that's what I am.
Yeah.
Oh no, I had chicken today for the first time in a little bit. I guess I'm rebelling.
I eat everything, but I try to avoid greasy, fried, just junk food. Pretty much just junk food. But one of the things that I've talked about and Renika talked about a little bit, with me is a cookbook, and for IBD people. There's a few of them out there, but but we really need to kind of speak into that cultural diversity and into different people's needs and stuff, because a lot of those cookbooks just kind of like those recipe sheets or whatever, they just don't hit. And so so do you what are some of your favorite things to make or to have?
Well, that's my favorite thing to eat for breakfast is avocado toast. Every morning, all the time. My favorite thing, I get some really good gluten-free bread from one of the stores by me, and I just get a good avocado and mash it up and put it on. And I also found they have veggie vegan burger patties that are really pretty much, it's just straight, I can make it myself at home with mushrooms, and mushrooms have been showing me pretty good for anti-inflammatory effects. So it's mushroom patties, and I put those on. That's my go-to. And then any and every dessert I love. And there's a lot that kind of bypass the high sugar. They're just naturally sweetened with bananas, or I know some people don't respond well to bananas, but there's bananas, maple syrup, and honey if you choose to eat honey.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, awesome. Well,
Sound good.
well, I think it's been about 30 minutes or so, and so so I think we're gonna wrap things up a little bit here. But you know, before we go, there's, you know, to anybody out there that's, you know, young, like a young person like yourself, you know, has Crohn's, going to school, like, yeah, I mean, but, you know, beyond, you know, searching for programs and stuff, is there any kind of, you know, parting advice you have? And not only that, where people can find you?
Ooh, parting advice for just college students in general?
Yeah, like, or just, you know, like, you know, like, yeah, I would say, like, yeah, you know, maybe in the last, you know, few years, you know, what have you learned? Something just like, you know, man, if I talked about younger self.
The younger self-talk, wow. And it's funny that you bring it up, because every time, like, I constantly reflect on where I was at this point last year, and I was a completely different person. I was a very shy person, but I think the number one thing I learned was just to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Definitely taking that first step into something that might scare you. Once you start doing it, it might turn out to be one of the best decisions you ever made. Right. So yeah, that would be my advice for that.
Awesome. Nice. Well, thank you for that. And then also, yeah, you know, your socials and stuff, you know, if people wanted to reach out to you, you know, to help you, support you in your goals and stuff, you know, how can they do that? Yeah,
so I have 2 Instagram accounts. I have my main account, which is vr.sammy, SAMMY. And then I have my food account, which is venture.with.b. So you can catch all my recipes and fitness posts and everything on there. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And for, you know, for Crohn's veteran, you know, we greatly appreciate, you know, everyone who listens to our show. You know, we greatly appreciate, you know, everybody that supports us. You can find us on www.crohnsveteran.com. We're live every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. You know, talking to great people like Vanessa here. You know, also you can check out our Teespring store for Crohn's veteran. You can check us out on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts, and of course our YouTube channel you can support too. So with that, you know, please subscribe, like us, all that kind of good stuff. And thanks, Vanessa. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
You too. Nice to meet you. Have a good night.
You too.